That's right. Back at it again, Full Custom Hot Dog here, doing another Blu-ray review, baby. We're going to be talking about the classic, wonderful film Fade to Black from 1980. Directed by Vernon Zimmerman, somebody I hadn't heard of. Spent his time as a writer and director. Most notably, besides Fade to Black, he wrote Teen Witch? What's Teen Witch? Okay, that is the movie I thought it was. He wrote Teen Witch. I'll probably put like pictures of that up there or something. Vinegar Syndrome released this somewhat recently, I think around Black Friday. Everybody was surprised because from what I heard, and from I think a lot of the Blu-ray collecting community had heard, the rights were hard to get. Usually the reasons for that is people think that rights holders will pay a lot for a movie if they think they really have their hands on something good. That's the problem with Dawn of the Dead. Why Dawn of the Dead doesn't get a good release out here is, from what I understand, that rights holder is holding out for that big payday, one big score. It sucks and it affects us all, but what are you going to do? Everyone's trying to make a buck, so no harm, no foul. Let's talk about the release first. Like I mentioned, the wonderful, wonderful Vinegar Syndrome, who packs every disc with nothing but top-notch everything. Everything looks good, sounds good, no complaints. This movie really does look fantastic, as is standard protocol from a Vinegar Syndrome release. We have a commentary track with lead actor Dennis Christopher, and a commentary track with The Hysteria Continues. A historical commentary track with film historians Amanda Reyes and Bill Ackerman. Now, the historical commentary tracks are always interesting because they try to... They come up with some pretty interesting things behind the scenes that you may or may not know, and it's sort of more of a analytical standpoint than an I was there or a commentary directly on the situation. With this, you get all three angles, right? So you get the educational side, and then the Hysteria Continues, who do a lot of commentaries for Vinegar Syndrome, always do great work. And then you get the actor talking about the behind the scenes stuff. So you get a little bit of everything on this disc, which is nice. There's interviews with pretty much everybody here. You've got an interview with Dennis Christopher, the lead. You've got an interview with the executive producer, Irwin Yablans, and I probably pronounced that wrong. You've got an interview with the special effects artist, Wayne Beauchamp. And you've got an interview with actress Marcy Barkin, who I believe plays Marilyn's friend. If you haven't seen this, Marilyn is basically looks just like Marilyn Monroe and helps the main character kind of go crazy in a way because he already has these fantasies about being in the movies. So now here's Marilyn Monroe to drive him extra crazy. That was actually a pretty good interview. And you've got an interview with the composer, Craig Safan, and I probably pronounced that wrong. An interview with editor Barbara Pokras, and an interview with the stylist, Patricia Bunch, and an audio interview with Linda Carriage, who plays Marilyn O'Connor. Pretty packed. You can't really ask for more than this on a disc. So, that's it. That's an A+. Vinegar Syndrome are almost always A+. I can't think of anything that they've fallen short on. And this is a fantastic release of a great movie. So, Fade to Black, 1980, like I mentioned, directed by Vernon Zimmerman, who this is probably the best thing that he's done from what I've seen anyway. I haven't seen too many of his things though, so who am I to judge? If you're a Vernon Zimmerhead, as we like to say, then let me know what are his better movies. Talk to me. Give me some recommendations. But, Fade to Black 1980, what does IMDb say it's about? Well, a shy, lonely film buff embarks on a killing spree against those who browbeat and betray him, all the while stalking his idol, a Marilyn Monroe lookalike. So yeah, you have your lead Dennis Christopher, who plays Eric Binford, whose life kind of sucks. He gets bullied, gets pushed around, and has an unhealthy obsession with movies, I guess you could say. You've got a pretty good cast here. Like I mentioned, Dennis Christopher playing Eric Binford. I always thought Dennis Christopher looked like a young Roddy McDowall. So it tripped me out because I feel like before I had ever seen this, I had thought Roddy McDowall was in this. If you don't know who that is, he was the vampire killer in Fright Night. Which, if you haven't seen Fright Night, you should go watch Fright Night. And then watch this, back to back. That's actually probably a pretty decent double feature. But you've got a talented cast, like I mentioned. Marilyn O'Connor is played by Linda Carriage, who spent a lot of her time as Marilyn Monroe. She was more of a Marilyn Monroe impersonator first and an actress second. Then she just kind of slowed down on acting, I guess. Initially, Dennis Christopher turned down this role, but he really liked the script as a character study of someone affected by media. So what does all of this mean in the synopsis? Because I feel like the synopsis downplays what this movie is really about. You essentially have this kid who is bullied and weak-willed and kind of a weenie. And he starts to impersonate things he's seen in film. He becomes Dracula in one, and he becomes a mummy, and he becomes a Hopalong Cassidy. I don't think you could be a Hopalong Cassidy, but he becomes a black and white cowboy. So there's some kind of weird makeup on display here with that, because a lot of these are in black and white, but it translates weird but kind of cool. I like the visual vibe here, but he uses these personas to get back at the people who've done him dirty and betray him and do him wrong. And with that, his mind just sort of snaps. So it's not like he's just like, I'm going to kill these people to get back. It's like, no, I have a lot of trouble separating reality from fiction and from film. And so I'm just going to lose my nanners and go bonkers and yonkers and start killing people. So it sounds like a kind of a simple premise, but it sort of feels deeper than it is. You really kind of feel for this kid who just has shit luck and a shit life, and damn, just pops off. The ending is fairly climactic, although feels like it kind of goes on for a bit too long. You almost think they're gonna kill this kid. Okay, they killed him. No, wait, he's still dying. Is he dead? I'm not gonna spoil it, even though maybe I already did. But regardless of any of that, you should definitely watch this movie. There are so many great things to take away from this flick, not just in its message or, again, acting as some kind of character study, but the cinematography here I like a lot. I tried to pull some shots that I really liked from this movie. I don't think they quite do it justice. And there's a lot of fun to be had in the cinematography, and a lot of the makeup I work too. It's fairly impressive. You also get a couple other people. I know I keep mentioning Dennis Christopher, but you also get Mickey Rourke in here, who I recognize, and I wasn't too familiar with Mickey Rourke until he kind of did that thing to his face and himself, you know, where he just looks all wacky. So that's kind of a bummer what happened to that guy. Anyways, Fade to Black, a high recommend. If you're thinking about blind buying it, I would say this is one I could say you should blind buy. I don't know anyone who dislikes this movie. Maybe we'll get some of y'all in the comments, of course, let me know. But you should watch this. It's fun, and it's got a little bit of everything here. A little bit of everything for everybody. So, I am your host, Full Custom Hot Dog. You can follow me on Twitter. That's Full Custom Hot Dog without the last O, because it is just too long for Twitter. So, thank you all for watching, and until next time. If you like what you see,
I love what I see.
Make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you can watch whatever comes next. And if you like the music you hear, you can follow me on SoundCloud and Spotify. Check the description for links.